Hello, my name is James Cunningham. I'm the Fire Chief for North Collier Fire Control and Rescue District. I stand before you today in looking at some additional funding mechanisms that we as the Fire District are looking to implement over the course of the future. Over the course of the last several decades, your North Collier Fire has taken on the responsibility of meeting all the needs in the community towards all hazard response, and with that is significant costs. And those costs, once again, are not able to be recovered based upon the demand for services that we have, and therefore our current funding strategies has not been able to keep up with the demand for services that our communities come to enjoy and expect. When we look at where we're going as a fire district, we want to make sure you know that we are utilizing the existing dollars to the fullest potential. Since I took over as fire chief a couple of years ago, I've introduced a number of new programs to make sure that your dollars are being appropriately used. We've moved engines and ladder trucks to the appropriate locations to try to further reduce response times with the existing resource we had, so we can try to get a fire engine on scene within 4 minutes, and if in the event of a fire emergency, getting a number of personnel that we need on scene within the 8-minute strategy. I've also moved people from 24-hour shift to 10-hour day shift, trying to utilize existing resources. During the day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there's a lot more calls for service than at 2 o'clock in the morning. By moving people to that daytime, we're able to meet the further demands for calls for service and try to reduce or at least maintain our response times under conditions. We'll know over the last several years, we're increasing our call volume by 7 to 9% each and every year. That increased demand for service is not keeping up with the amount of revenue that's coming in, even though the revenue has gone up as we have had growth, obviously, within the fire district. When you look at other programs that we have introduced in cooperation with the Sheriff's Office, such as Automatic Vehicle Locator, known as AVL, for closest chain response, regardless of what fire agency is with, which color of the truck or badge on the door, we want to make sure the closest provider is to your doorstep and able to mitigate your emergency, whatever that case may be. We have introduced that along with the Sheriff's Office, and we are making sure that we're trying to meet those needs in the demand for services with obviously limited dollars. We've also expanded our response strategies by implementing more smaller vehicles such as ambulances and pickup trucks to respond to medical emergencies, a smaller, lighter weight vehicle to be primary on medical, and not having fire engine and ladder trucks be the primary response vehicle. But at the same time, we've seen the call volume increase so much that the engines are still second due on those calls because the squads and smaller vehicles are already tending to a prior emergency. And if you see a case where there's a ladder truck on a call, it's because the squads and engines in that area are already committed, and that is in essence our third line of defense, making sure we're meeting the needs of the people. Every fire engine and squad in the North Collier Fire District has paramedics on it, providing advanced life support for services, working closely with our partners in the Collier County government of EMS that does the transport component. When we arrive on scene, we are able to stabilize that person and be able to treat them effectively and efficiently until our partners in Collier County EMS get there. And when they show up, if the patient is in critical need of advanced care and moving them obviously rapidly to the hospital, the paramedic out the fire truck gets on the ambulance, goes to the hospital with them, making sure there's 2 paramedics in the back of that ambulance, treating the patient with the greatest medical care possible, and still being good stewards of the dollars of not having 3 people on every ambulance within the entire county. These are all programs that are working extraordinarily well, not only in North Collier Fire, but throughout Collier County, working closely with our jurisdictional partners, both fire, EMS, and law enforcement, making sure that our constituents are getting the best quality services they can at a cost-effective price, and trying to make sure your existing dollars have gone as far as they possibly can. And that is why we're asking you to consider some alternative funding mechanisms that we're bringing before you.